Jy is geskakel op GROOTplaas en ons gas saam met ons vanoggend Michelle, sy is die Besturende Direkteur van die Veldgidse-vereniging van Suider-Afrika. Michelle, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So let's start off with the Safari Guide of the Year 2026 launches, marking 15 years of raising the bar of South Africa's top field guides that go head to head. So when did this organization start?
Jabi, it started 15 years ago. It was an opportunity to really showcase what professional guiding is all about, and it's a platform to showcase the best of the best that have been nominated during a current year.
So for our viewers at the moment, can you explain what this event is and why the industry takes it so seriously?
The industry takes it seriously because it's a platform that showcases the level of skill that guides need. And the competition is called Safari Guide of the Year. And for us, a Safari Guide is an all-rounder. You know, they need to showcase and demonstrate all the many skills that guides have. And it's the one opportunity to not only showcase that, but it's an opportunity to bring the best guides together during a week, and they get tested on all the skills they need. And it's a benchmark, you know, it's a benchmark for them at this position in their career to learn, to create a bit of camaraderie, and of course then have the chance to showcase what they can do in all the different categories.
So for these field guides, is this the type of competition that they need to enter themselves in? Do they get nominated? And then what kind of skills do they get tested on?
So the wonderful thing about this event is that it's nominated by peers, by guests, by employers. Anybody can nominate a guide that they feel is an exceptional guide. And so those nominations come in, and they close around March of every year, and then all the finalists get chosen. We have quite a lot of nominations that come in, and so they go through a process. We then select them, and then they get chosen. We choose 5 that get chosen. The different skills, there are 9 categories, starting off with the most fun is the storytelling. That is done every evening around the fire. They tell stories. There's then the advanced rifle handling, which is the Vergaser standard, and they get tested on their accuracy and safety and professionalism around the advanced rifle handling, which is the most important skill for the guides that are walking on foot in dangerous game areas. So these are our trails guides. And then you've got birding, testing their skills around birding and knowledge of birds and sounds of birds. Then there's guiding photographic experiences. So that is guiding photographers. That requires a very specialist skill as well. There's hospitality. We look at how they are conduct themselves in a guest environment whilst they're guiding, and of course during the whole hospitality environment. And then there's industry professionalism, and that is really, really a significant category, because that is how does the guide conduct themselves professionally, their appearance, but it goes more than that within their career. How are they authentic? Are they credible? Are they ethical? So those are those important skills. There's also the guided safari and also the walk, the Big 5 walk.
Now, Michelle, when, let's say, the normal person off the street goes for a safari, why is it such a good idea for them to ask specifically for a endorsed Field Guides Association of South Africa guide?
So the Field Guides Association of Southern Africa, and for short we call it Vergaser, it is a professional body for nature guiding. We've spent 36 years building and contributing to the industry, building the best possible standards for guides. And so it is a benchmark. And we've also positioned the organization and position guards as professionals so they can get awarded designations. And so just like any other professional in their career, a designated professional is significant. It stands for credibility and it represents their level of skill and experience. And so when you get a Fagasa guard, you know exactly the level that you are going to be experiencing. We also take safety very seriously and obviously ethical guarding. And everything is brought together by a code of conduct. So it's really, really important. And as you know, guards are ambassadors. They're not only showing guests things to do, they demonstrate skill and they're ambassadors for this country. So it's very important to have professional guards out there.
So there's a lot of landowners and reserve managers that watch this show. Do you think it would be advantageous, if that's the correct English word, for game owners and other people who already have these types of field guides on their farm to maybe send them to do a qualification through Fugasa?
Look, so guards need to qualify. So they need to qualify the legal route through a provider. So if it's an employer or a reserve or a game farm where there is dangerous animals and it's a safari type of environment, we would really encourage them to make sure that their guards are legal, for one. That is the starting point. And then thereafter, it's a journey. It's not a quick fix. You would get the basic skill. You would get what you need to be able to guide legally. But then you must build your career. And that is where we come in. We've got many training partners that work with us, that develop the guide skills. Talking about all those categories that I mentioned, those are the range of skills that guides need, and that needs to be developed over time. And it's a huge advantage to have guides with that type of knowledge and skill level when they're operating in those types of environments.
Michelle, we're going to be back with you in a second. Dis ons gas op GROOTplaas vanoggend. Michelle de Tooy is die besturende direkteur van die Veldgidse-vereniging van Suid-Afrika om 'n bietjie te gesels oor die safari-gids van die jaar vir 2026. Nou eers tyd vir die GROOTplaas kalender. Jy is ingeskakel op GROOTplaas en ons gas saam met ons vanoggend Michelle de Tooy. Sy is die besturende direkteur van die Veldgidse-vereniging van Suider-Afrika. So Michelle, interesting that Sarah Barrett became the second woman to win the Safari Guide of the Year in the competition's 15-year history. What made her stand out?
Gosh, I think first and foremost, she's worked really hard. She's worked in the industry for 15 years and spent an enormous amount of time honing down her skills. But she stood out. I think her level of professionalism, the way she conducts herself, I think that stood out for me personally. And certainly tipped the edge at the end. These guides all do so well, and it's always very difficult to choose a winner because once you tally up scores and the weighting and all of that, in terms of the scoring, it becomes quite a a decision at the end of the day, but the scores speak for themselves. And yeah, so she stood out definitely just in terms of her level of professionalism. And obviously she won one of the big categories and a couple of the others. So that was fantastic for her.
Has she been in the industry for a very long time?
Yeah, 15 years. So it's taken her 15 years to get to this professional level. All the contestants need to meet sort of a level within our career path. And so, yes, this is 15 years in the making. And what is wonderful, and we didn't know this, but when she put herself forward and was nominated and accepted the nomination and then made it through, she said that the Safari Guide of the Year, which started 15 years ago, was on her list of achievements. And so she's been working really, really hard. And she's just so grateful for the opportunity. Just very humble and authentic and just amazing.
So, Michelle, what does it mean for the profession specifically when you have a woman, especially of her caliber, winning this accolade?
You know, if it's always wonderful. But having said that, the women that are in the industry are supported by their peers, and really it's about skill at the end of the day. So whether you female or male in this industry, you really need to be on top of your game and make sure that you reach those levels of expertise in terms of your skill set. For me personally, it's a wonderful accolade to encourage more women to enter the industry. It has been a very male-dominated career for many, many years, and we've slowly seen a change. You know, working in nature and being at the forefront of that kind of career is an incredible privilege for youngsters. And I would encourage any girl that is wanting to start a career in the bush. It's possible, and it's a legitimate professional career. And you can really, really do well in this career. So I would encourage all females, and it's been wonderful this year to have Sarah win.
We've got 20 seconds. Michelle, can you maybe just tell us if there is a young person watching and this looks like the kind of career that they would be interested in, where should they start their journey?
So first and foremost, they need to find a credible training provider, make sure that they are a credible organization, and achieve their entry-level certificate. And then from there, build your career and never stop learning. Make sure that you put in every single bit of effort. It takes a lot of grit and determination. It's not easy, but it's the most rewarding career that you could have if that is what you would love to do. So start off being with a credible organization and then build your professional career.
Michelle, thank you so much for your time this morning. Dis ons gas op GROOTplaas, Michelle de Tooy. Sy is die besturende direkteur van die Veldgidse-vereniging van Suider-Afrika om te praat oor die safari gids van die jaar vir 2026. Dis alwaarvoor ons tyd het. Ons hoop jy het dit geniet en dan kyk ons weer môreoggend saam.